15 signs someone loves you, but it's toxic. Romantic love may be a wonderful experience. There's a reason why love has played such an important role in so many stories throughout human history. Even though love isn't always perfect, it's frequently surprising, annoying, and sometimes unpleasant in real life. Even with indicators that may appear clear to others, the boundary between good and unhealthy relationships can be easily crossed, and it can be difficult to recognize. While it may undoubtedly provide a lot of advantages, it usually does so only after a lot of hard work and a willingness to face certain hardships as part of the process. It takes time for your heart to embrace what your intellect already understands. Even when we know it's time to break a relationship and let someone go, it's not always simple to recognize when the love we once had has become toxic. We may experience it from time to time when we begin to wonder whether we don't deserve anything better. But in the end, it's simply too difficult for us to let go. So we justify a few negative acts by saying, "Oh, they must have been having a bad day," or "perhaps they didn't intend it that way." But there's a clear differentiation between the reasonable amount of disagreement that all couples are destined to have and all the warning signs of a toxic relationship. With that in mind, here are 15 telltale signs that someone's love for you is truly toxic. 1. You are drained by your relationship. According to health psychologists, 70% of our energy drains are emotional. One of the first signs of a toxic relationship is how you feel after meeting your partner. Do you feel rejuvenated and energized, or do you feel like a suffocating balloon? It's a personal experience. You should get out of a relationship that stresses you out and takes more from you than it gives. 2. Love bombing. This can be difficult to identify, and you may not even realize it is happening. A toxic relationship or a narcissist will employ love bombing as an emotional manipulation method. When your lover is attempting to capture your heart, they will place you on a pedestal in order to make you feel dependent on them. They do it because they want to be your only option. This can quickly turn into a harmful codependent relationship for both parties. 3. Too much passive aggressiveness. Passive aggression is a cowardly tactic for control and an indirect attack. The toxicity comes from robbing you of your ability to respond and deal with problems head-on. The attack is subtle and frequently disguised as something else, such as anger thinly veiled as indifference, whatever, or I'm fine. Manipulation disguised as approval, I'll just stay at home alone while you go out and have fun, and the worst. A villain disguised as a hero, you seem really tired. Baby, tonight we are not needed to go out. Stay in and fix yourself a meal, and I'll have a couple of beers with Valentina on my own. Since she lost her job, she's been a mess. Because you can feel the scratch, you know the action or behavior was intended to manipulate or harm you, but it's not clear enough to respond to the true issue. If something is worth becoming outraged about, it is worth talking about, but passive-aggressive behavior prevents this from happening. 4. Jealousy shows up. According to psychotherapists, jealousy and possessiveness might be signs of an inferiority complex. At first, you think it's great that your spouse wants to know everything about your day. But as time passes, you realize it's not because he or she loves you, but because he or she feels insecure. This is harmful, and it can be an indication of a broader illness, such as paranoia or delusional disorder, which, if not recognized or addressed, might suffocate the spouse. 5. Victim card. In a toxic relationship, your partner will throw fingers at you to make you feel guilty, or he or she will just disregard his participation in causing the situation. They'll usually play the victim, which is also known as emotional manipulation. 6. Lack of trust. A partner is someone you can rely on, share your weaknesses with, and have on your side. None of these things are possible in the absence of trust. When I see someone in a fairly healthy relationship, I see that they are secure in their partnership stability. There can be no sense of security without trust, and not simply the confidence that their spouse will be faithful, but trust that their partner would act in the best interests of the relationship's commitments. 7. There is no give when it comes to taking. It might be a sign of toxicity if your relationship continually centers on making your partner happy while ignoring your needs. Being attentive to your spouse is one thing, but if you find yourself saying no to yourself in order to say yes to them on a regular basis, you may want to consider establishing some limits. It might be a sign of a toxic relationship if they ignore, insult, or bulldoze your limits. Having a very uneven distribution of work, responsibility, or contribution to the relationship or home. Being the first to text always. Choppy conversations. There are long periods between sending a message and obtaining a response. You've been begging your partner to change their behavior again and over again. Always being the first one to text are some signs of a toxic relationship. 8. Your previous mistakes are regularly brought up. When a partner uses examples such as, "This is what you usually do," "You were like this with your ex too," or "Last month," you know your relationship is on shaky ground. When a partner is insecure, he or she may be subconsciously compiling a case history against you. Whatever happens, he or she quickly recalls previous incidents and continues to emphasize them. He or she does not focus on or attempt to tackle the problem at hand. This type of individual is frequently tormented by ghosts from the past, making life tough for you as well. 9. They cut you off from your friends, family, and plans. In toxic relationships, the toxic people will frequently try to isolate you in order to acquire control over you or to feel like they do. For instance, suppose you tell your spouse you have plans for Friday evening and they respond, "Ah, no, I was planning to surprise you with a nice dinner that night." This happens over and over, to the point that it appears intentional. 10. Your partner is overly attached. In every relationship, one partner may think that the other is extremely trustworthy because he or she meets specific psychological needs that the other may have. When that partner isn't accessible, one begins to feel uneasy and irritable. This can lead to an uncontrolled want to be with your partner 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, which can be destructive to your relationship. It can escalate to stalking or obsessive possessiveness toward one's partner. A partner that is very needy and clinging may be the reason for the breakup of a relationship. 11. To impress your partner, you begin to imitate his or her habits. When you're out with your partner, do you feel compelled to drink more than you're comfortable with? Do you feel compelled to start smoking in order to impress him or her? You should rethink your relationship if it's driving you to adopt harmful behaviors. 12. You're on your alone in combat. Again, your partner and you work as a team. Whatever happens, you have to know that you have each other's backs, at least in public. When the world throws stones at a healthy relationship, the couple pulls together and strengthens the wall that surrounds them. When it comes to public shaming, toxic relationships frequently see one individual go it alone. When outside forces try to separate and conquer a relationship, the pair is easily separated and conquered as if they were never together in the first place. 13. Your partner holds you responsible for an issue they created. This is known as scapegoating, and it occurs when someone places blame for their issues on someone else, making them feel guilty and ashamed even though they were not the cause of the situation. Have you ever been accused by your significant other because they cheated on you? 14. Nothing is ever really settled in a relationship. Of how compatible you and your partner are, you will most likely disagree on something, forcing one or both of you to compromise. When you're in a toxic relationship, you'll notice that you and your spouse are always fighting over minor and major issues, yet are unable to settle them. As a result, resentment develops, and the spark in the relationship begins to dissipate. 15. Is there a lack of respect that you have noticed? Is he not interested in your thoughts, or does he make choices without asking you? Or, even worse, does he verbally or physically attack you? Disrespect and abuse are inextricably linked, with one leading to the other. It's a long time to take action if your partner doesn't care about your feelings or respect you. And if you've already been subjected to abuse, get out of it now. Well, that's all for today's video. Hit like, share, and also subscribe to the channel if you want to be the first to know whenever we posted another important social psychology video like this. Thanks for watching.